Okay, guys, let's learn Swift. Here on the Swift official webpage, or is a website, swift.org, we have this display. And then, well, why would you want to learn Swift? So here it says that Swift is the powerful, flexible, multi-platform programming language. It's fast, it's expressive, it's safe, and when we go down here, so okay, Swift, the things we might create with using Swift. Here we have a cloud services. Uh, so we want to run performance services on Linux and deploy to the cloud. Command line, powerful CLI tools that are fast and memory safe. Embedded, efficient. We can develop efficient, reliable firmware for devices like microcontrollers. And of course, uh, with Swift, we can develop iOS apps, Windows apps, machine learning, and AI and packages. So these are some of the different things we can build with Swift. And currently, the version is 6.3.2. So let's run through the installation methods. So I'm going to click install, and then so this is highlighting the Mac OS tab because it's identifying or recognizing my machine as Mac. So we're going to start with Windows. So I'm going to click Windows. So you can code Swift on Windows as well. So to install Swift on Windows, first you need a Windows Package Manager. Fortunately, if you are running modern versions of Windows 10 or Windows 11, you already have a Windows Package Manager. It comes shipped with the OS. So what we need to do on Windows is first we install Windows platform dependencies. So you copy this, you open a PowerShell on Windows. I don't have a Windows system here. I would have demonstrated this. So you can copy this, open PowerShell, and then you, or command prompt if you like, you copy this and then you paste on your PowerShell, and then this is going to install the Windows platform dependencies for Swift installation. And then after that, so next install Swift and other dependencies. So you can do copy this as well and paste, and then this is going to install Swift on Windows. And then upon installation, you can open a terminal, and then okay, I'm just going to, instead of a, I'm just going to how to check Swift version installed. So you can use this command. It's going to pop up now. You can use Swift version. So this, you can enter this command in your terminal to check that Swift was correctly installed on your Windows system. So after that, we're going to select an editor. You want to go with Visual Studio Code because I think it's simple to set up. So I'm gonna do this I think next, because the setup is quite similar to what we would do if we were to be on Mac. We're going to talk about setting up Xcode as well, how you might want to use a Xcode on your Windows machine. We're going to get into all of that later on. Since we're going to be coding Swift, so we can think of that as building a command line too, because when we code Swift in this environment, Visual Studio Code, essentially, we're using the command line too. So next up, we're going to set up a Visual Studio Code. If you don't have Visual Studio Code, you can just go online and check for Visual Studio Code. And then you can download and install. So let's get back to the Swift official website. I want to talk about for Linux, you can read about Linux, the steps for installing Swift on Linux here as well. So I'm not quite okay. Let's not get into that. So macOS. Let's look at macOS for instance. So for macOS, there is the option so we can download toolchains from swift.org and then use a Swiftly toolchain installer. Blah 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 blah. So we can open our terminal and then copy this, paste, and this is going to download and install Swift toolchain for us. And then we can select an editor. Now, for this editor selector, now if you're going with Xcode, it's important you understand this. If you have Xcode installed or you wish to code Swift with Xcode, you don't have to run another standalone Swift installation because Xcode comes bundled with the Swift toolchain. So you see here, it says to develop with Swift for Apple platforms, download the latest version of Xcode, which is regularly refreshed with the latest Swift toolchain. So if you are installing Xcode, you don't need to install another standalone Swift installation again. So Xcode comes with everything you need to code Swift. So if you're going with Xcode, it's important to know that. Now, if you still would like to play with Visual Studio Code, even with Xcode on your Mac, I'm talking about Mac users now. There are a couple of things we need to do to get Visual Studio Code set up. Remember, if you already have Xcode installed, you don't need to install Swift again. Swift is already there on your operating system, that is on your Mac OS. Now, say we want to set up our Visual Studio Code on our Mac. Let me just take this again. If you don't have Xcode on your Mac in this current instance and you would like to code Swift, you don't want to go with Xcode, you want to go with Visual Studio Code, you have to install Swift standalone by copying and pasting this command in your terminal. But if you already have Xcode or you wish to go with Xcode, then do what I'm about to do right now. So we're going to set Visual Studio Code up for coding Swift. I have Xcode installed on my machine. I'm going to show you that in a minute when we get to the Xcode part. So for Visual Studio Code, I'm going to open, the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to open a terminal. I'm going to open a terminal. Since I have Xcode installed yet, I want to see whether my Swift installation is active at a minute. So let me zoom this in. So my terminal is up and running. So I'm going to do, I think it's Xcode select, and then this is going to print the directory for my Xcode installation. So this is the directory for my Xcode installation here right now. Now we want to set up a Visual Studio Code for programming Swift. Now, because Visual Studio Code relies on our terminal environment to locate the Swift compiler and the SourceKit LSP language server, Xcode cannot automatically detect the Swift toolchain from, what am I saying? Visual Studio Code cannot automatically detect Xcode toolchain, which comes with our Swift toolchain or whatever. Visual Studio Code cannot automatically detect that. So because it cannot automatically detect it, we have to link Xcode to our system parts. If we do that, then Visual Studio Code can now detect the Swift toolchain that come bundled with our Xcode on our machine. So let's go back to our browser, and then I'm going to do so that we can copy the command here. I'm going to do link Xcode to system part. Okay, so this is going to Okay, so this is the command that we need. So you see that it's a sudo xcode select switch. Then this is, as you saw earlier, this is the directory from my xcode installation. So remember, we're trying to link xcode to our system path. So I'm going to copy this command here. So when I copy this command, I'm going to go back to my terminal. If you're on Windows, you don't need to do this because, well, natively you cannot install Xcode on Windows anyway. So if you're on Windows, you don't need to bother with this additional step for setting up Visual Studio Code. So I'm going to paste this here, Command V, then I'm going to press enter. So it's going to ask for my password. I'm going to enter my password. Okay, so that is done. Our Xcode is linked to our system path. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to create a folder. So I'm going to cd to my documents. So if you're on Windows now, you can go to cd documents and then you can make directory. I'm going to call that playground, like so. And then I'm going to cd into playground. Okay, and then I'm going to open this playground in Visual Studio Code. Since I already have Visual Studio Code installed on my machine, so I'm going to do code space and dot, and then this is going to open this playground empty folder inside my Visual Studio Code. Now, after that is done, since we are going to be essentially building a command line too, since we want to learn Swift, we're not building any kind of application, so to speak. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to create an executable command line project. But then before we do that, one thing we need to do is we need to install the what is it called? We need to install official Visual Studio Code extension for our Swift. So before we run the executable command line project for programming Swift, what we need to do first is what is extension? Okay, so for extension, we can what is it called? We can type Swift lang in Swift lang dot Swift. Okay, so this one, no, not this, Swift lang dot Swift. So this, no, this is not what I need. Coming. So this has been deprecated. Coming. I'm gonna go back here. It's very important. Okay, so this Swift language support. I'm going to click this. So say swift.org, Swift language support for Visual Studio Code. Make sure this is the one you are installing. It's very important. So when we what is it called? When we install this, this is going to install Swift Hexcode extension, and then this extension automatically installs the code LLDB, which enable debugging. So I think I've already installed this. Well, if you've not installed this, you're going to see the install flag here. So just click it and then it's going to install for us. So say saying disable or uninstall because I already installed this already. So I'm going to close this and then I'm going to get back here. What is this? View. Then let's look at terminal. I'm going to open terminal. So the next thing we're going to do now is we're going to generate a command line project skeleton for our playground folder here. So come in. So here in terminal, I'm going to type Swift package. I believe that's accurate. Init. Then the type is going to be executable. Okay, so I think that is accurate. So I'm gonna press enter here, and then if this works out, then we should have this should generate a command line project skeleton for us. It's taking a bit. I hope I'm still connected to. Okay, so now we have this command line project skeleton. Yeah, so I'm gonna close this, and then if you go to sources, we have main.swift. This is where we're going to be writing our Swift code. Zoom this in a bit. Okay, so here it says hello world here. Okay, it's still describing, but it's still preparing for us. So I was wondering why I didn't get the debug option here that is going to allow us to actually run. So it's taking some time. So see, if you look at down here, it says list package depend indexing. Okay, blah blah. Okay, so now we have this here. So it's activating extensions. So it's resolving package dependencies. So it's still getting us all set up, and then it's loading Swift plugins currently. Okay, so now we have this print hello world. So if we click this, then it's a run Swift executable, and then if this runs, we should have our command line back. So it's a debug playground. Okay, so it's taking some time. Depending on what is going on your machine, this might take a minute. So I'm gonna debug anyway. This might take a minute. So in your case, it may not take this long. I think I have some kind of resource constraint on my machine at the minute, so it's taking a while. So it's a hello world here. So I'm going to drop this down a bit, and then I'm just going to see type some code here. So we'll say let nums equals so I don't know 4 5 10 minus 4 minus 8, and then let's have a function here. We can do get sum, or okay, get sum. Okay, sorry, func, since it's function func get sum, and then in here we can have let me do the short form one. So let total, okay, let sum equals nums dot reduce, and then here we can do 0 then plus, and then later on we can do print the sum of our numbers is sum, like so. So then I have to invoke get sum here. So get sum is invoked, and then I have to save this. Okay, now if this were to be hex code, you don't need to save. It's going to automatically save for us. So now I'm going to run this run Swift executable. Okay, so it's taking some time, and then we can get the output of our program down here when it's done building. Okay, so okay, so it says the sum of our numbers is 7, so this is working. Okay, that's that for Visual Studio Code. What we've done here is similar to what you would do on Windows, so just follow, with the exception of linking Xcode to our system path, since you cannot natively run Xcode on Windows. So this is done for Xcode, for Visual Studio Code rather. So I'm going to close this. I'm going to close this. We're done with Visual Studio Code. So my terminal, I think I don't need terminal at the minute. So the next thing is how to set Xcode up. So say you don't have Xcode. Of course, if you want to go with Xcode, you don't need to go with the Visual Studio Code option anymore. So we go to App Store. So for Mac users, I'm talking to Mac users now. So we go to App Store. So here we're going to natively install Xcode on our machine, which is going to come with our bundle with our Swift toolchain. So here we can search for Xcode. Enter. So App Store is searching for Xcode. Now, in my case, remember I told you that I have Xcode installed. So here I have the option of open. If you don't have it, Xcode install. If you don't have Xcode, install on your Mac, then you can come here and install. So I have installed already, so it's saying open. So I'm going to click this to open Xcode on my machine. It's going to take a while. Like I said, I'm experiencing some kind of resource constraint on my machine at the minute. So I don't need to come here anymore, so I'm just going to close this. And then let's see okay, Xcode is opening up. So this is Xcode. Now, say we want to program Swift on Xcode. I have Xcode version 16.3. I don't think that is the latest one, but I think this should do. Now, see this Xcode, come in, minimize, okay. So here, there's this option of create new project or clone Git repository or open existing project. We want to code Swift here. We're not trying to build a new project. We just want to play with Swift. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go to, so since once Xcode is launched like this on Mac, you can't have this on Windows. I'm going to show us how to, we're going to talk about how we might be able to use Xcode on Windows later on. So we're going to come to File and then New, then Playground. So File, New, Playground. Okay, so this is coming up. So you can go with this default option, iOS blank, and then next. So I have an iOS project folder in my document folder. So inside here, I can just do, okay, so there's another Playground folder, a Playground subfolder in this iOS project. So here I'm just going to call this, I don't know, Swift Sandbox. Okay, and then I'm going to do create. So it's no editor. Okay, so now we have what is it called? We have a Swift. So it says import UI kit via greeting hello playground. So we have a new playground here. So then we can do print greeting. So in what is it called? In when we code Swift, we don't, whatever code we type at the global scope. So this is the global scope in Swift. This code is going to compile without a main function. So this is our global scope is our entry point in Swift. So we don't need a main function as we would require, say we were to code C, C++, or Java. So in Swift, we don't need a main function to serve as the entry point for our program. So any code we type in a global scope here is our entry point. So we can run this without I use this play button, and then it's launching Swift Sandbox, and then later on we're going to, so this is the playground. This is Xcode as well. So it's taking some time to launch. When it's done, we should see the result of our program in the what is it called, in the command line interface of our Xcode. So it's taking some time. Like I said earlier, I think I'm experiencing some kind of a. One way we might do that is to rent Mac in the cloud. So if I do this, I can do rent Mac in. Is that how? Okay, so let's use this. Mac Cloud for Xcode. So I'm going to click this. So you're going to pay if you want to rent Mac in the cloud. So you see, so you can go to this website if you like. Get your Mac now. Why developers choose Renter Mac. So you can read all about this. So this is going to allow you, if you're on Windows, to use Xcode on Windows if you want to go with Xcode anyway. So you can rent Mac. So this is, you're going to pay. So you can see that they have different packages for this approach for Windows users. So that's one way. We can also run macOS in a virtual machine known as VM. So maybe we want to use a virtualization software like VMware Workstation to run macOS within a window on our Windows PC. I'm not going to get into all of that. But then if you want to do that, you can research that on your end. So I'm going to leave this at that. So another thing we might want to do, since we're not really building an iOS application, or macOS application, or okay, so create using Swift. So these are the different apps we might want to create with Swift. Now, since we just want to learn Swift, say we don't want to go through the rigors of setting up VS Code, Xcode, and the likes. There are some online tools that we can use to program Swift. One of the okay, so here we can just play with some Swift code. This is running on on Linux containers. So it's running on Linux containers, and then where it doesn't have Apple specific frameworks like UIKit, AppKit, or Swift UI. So, but it has some standard. It has a standard Swift library and some core library like Foundation. So it says import Foundation here. So it's important to know that if we're doing some more sophisticated Swift programming, this environment is not going to be ideal for us. But nonetheless, we can still play with some Swift program here. So what do we have? In the other time we did let nums equals 3, 5, 9, 10 minus 4 minus 12. Okay, so let's see. Func add positive. Say we just want to add positive numbers, and then when we get to the negative, we're going to stop. So we can do let total equals nums dot prefix, and then here we can do y, and then here we can use the Swift automatic position arguments. So this is going to be for our increment, so greater than equals to 0. Then we can do dot reduce 0, then plus, and then we can do print the sum of positive numbers in our list is total, like so. So uh, let me see, what is this saying? So initialization of immutable value total was never used. Well, I just use it here. What are you talking about? Okay, so print the sum of positive numbers in our list is total. This is it. I don't know why I'm still getting this, because I'm using it here now. Okay, sorry, I've not invoked the function anyway, so I can invoke uh, get, oh sorry, add positive here. Okay, so now it's gone. So I can clear this. And now another thing with this interface is you can choose what Swift version you want to use. So it's currently on version 6.3.1, which is one step behind, I think, the current Swift that we have here, but it should still work. So I'm going to clear this, and then I'm going to run. And then if our code is correct, so it says the sum of positive numbers in our list is 27. Okay, so that's that. In our subsequent videos, we're going to be playing, we're going to be writing some code here, and then if or when the need be, we can switch to Visual Studio Code, and then maybe Xcode later on. So I just want us to have that at the back of our mind. So I think this is quite easier to work with, so we don't have to go through the or boilerplate process of setting up VS Code or Xcode. But then you have to be on the internet to use this. So guys, that's all I have for setting up Swift. I hope to see you shortly. Thanks for watching.